Well, this is it. The sixth and final production log. The probe has succeeded, is almost finished, and this is the last sneak preview you're going to get. I've got 54 shots in the can, and edited in, and all the sound for them finished, and everything. Just 3 shots to go, which are the last 3 right at the end of the film, 2 of which will mirror one of the scenes earlier on, and hopefully provide some narrative resolution to this thing. At least that's the plan. What's really weird about being at this stage, about being so that close to completing this thing after all this time, it's that I don't actually feel that excited. I first dreamed this up way back in, I think it was the early months of 2005. I first scribbled down a very rough idea on a piece of paper, a bad piece of concept art for the alien dog, an equally bad sketch of what the outside of the house might look like, and the provisional working title of Zuki, because you never hear the name spoken in the film, but that's what the alien dog is called. It pretty much got forgotten about for 2 years. Then I rediscovered the piece of paper and thought, wait a minute, I could do this. So I then decided, right, well, I want to do Dayglow first, but I'll do this next year, so that's what I did. 2007 I did Dayglow, and then beginning of 2008 I started work on the probe. I've been actually working on it for 2 years, and it's been there in the back of my mind as a concept for another 3 years before that, so this is an idea that I actually came up with in its embryonic form nearly half a decade ago, and when you put it in those terms, it sounds like forever. It feels like a lifetime that I've been making this film, and from the audience point of view, it whizzes past in the blink of an eye. For those of you who don't know, PAL is an acronym for Phase Alternating Lines. It's the name of the television and video standard used throughout most of Europe, and quite a few other parts of the world as well. And in a PAL video, it takes 40 milliseconds to display each frame. In this film, because I'm doing what's called shooting on twos, so each photograph stays on screen for 2 frames, you see each of these photos for 80 milliseconds, and that's it, then it's gone and the next one comes up. That doesn't seem like much really, does it? It takes maybe an hour to set up a shot. In some cases it can take several minutes to get each frame right. That's a particularly complicated shot, but it can take several minutes to get a single frame right, a single photo, and the audience are only going to see that photo for 80 milliseconds. That's why I called this vlog Lifetimes and Milliseconds, because all the work that I've put in is... you're only going to see it for a tiny fraction of the time. But one of the things that, one of the reasons I do it is the special moments that those frames, it all just comes together. You can keep it, you can freeze it. Thank goodness for the pause button. It's hard to remember a time when I wasn't making films, or at least messing around with video editors and having delusions about making films. But now, about 7-8 years later, it's quite difficult to remember what life felt like before I'd started making films, because I've been at it for so long now. Not just films in general, but this particular set of films have become part of the furniture of my existence. And in a way, waking up in the morning and thinking, okay, what crazy projects am I working on? And plasticine short film in the loft not being one of the projects on the list, that is going to feel really weird. And it's hard to remember what it felt like before I started. It's hard to remember what life felt like before I started that, and that kind of makes it hard to extrapolate or imagine what life is going to feel like after I've finished. And the audience aren't going to see any of that. Once the film is on YouTube, it will take approximately 6 minutes for a viewer to locate and watch the film. And they'll see this rocky alien planet for a total of maybe 2, perhaps 3 minutes across the entire length of the film. And that's it. From the audience point of view, that set exists for 2 minutes. For me, it's taken more than half a year planning, designing, building, shooting. And it seems kind of ironic, almost just a little tiny bit unfair, I think, that what looks to me like such a vast amount of labour and effort should just be a trivial little thing that lasts 2 minutes from the audience viewpoint. But I suppose that's just the way it works, isn't it? It's kind of sad in a way. You'd think, 2 years making the film, you'd kind of feel excited when it was about to be finished, but I'm not getting that. It's just one of those things, I suppose. Yes, like I said, just 3 shots left to animate, and a tiny little bit of sound design to go with them. And then, after getting on for 2 years in the making, the probe has succeeded, will be finished. The probe will have succeeded, if you want to put it that way. It will be done. And it will go out on YouTube, and you will be able to see it.